Have you ever stopped to think about how our strongest desires can mess with our peace of mind? Today, we're tackling a topic that's usually hushed up, but packs a big punch: sex. But wait, before you start thinking this is all about how to make your bedroom adventures more exciting, let's take a step back. We're not here to talk about that. Instead, let's dig into why some folks, especially those following Stoic philosophy, choose to say no to sex. Wait, before we dive deeper into this, hit that subscribe button so you never miss out on my valuable content. Comment "I subscribe" below, and I'll personally welcome you to the Stoic family. With that said, let's get started. Reasons not to have sex according to Stoicism. Stoic wisdom. 1. Self-control. Self-control is like having a superpower according to Stoicism. It's all about being the boss of your own actions, especially when temptation comes knocking. Think of it this way: imagine you're on a diet, and you really want a piece of cake. Self-control is what stops you from diving headfirst into that sugary treat, even though it looks super tempting. In the Stoic world, it's like having a Jedi-like mastery over your impulses. Now, let's talk about how this relates to sex. Yep, that's right, the big S word. See, sex is a bit like that slice of cake. It's super enjoyable, but it can mess with your head if you let it take control. Stoics teach us that true power comes from being able to say no to those impulses, even when they're as strong as a tidal wave. By mastering self-control, we're not just avoiding the cake, we're steering the ship of our own lives, making choices that line up with what we really value. 2. Detachment from fleeting pleasures. Detachment might sound a bit like pulling away from things, but it's more like taking a step back to see the bigger picture. Picture this: you're at a carnival, and there are all these fun rides and games. Detachment is like being able to enjoy the carnival without feeling like you have to ride every ride or win every game. It's about finding joy in the experience without getting too caught up in the moment. Now, let's apply this to pleasure, including sex. Pleasure is awesome, no doubt about it, but Stoics warn us not to rely too much on it for our happiness. It's like eating candy. Sure, it tastes great, but it won't fill you up for long. Stoics encourage us to find deeper sources of contentment, ones that don't fade away as quickly as a sugar rush. By detaching from the need for constant gratification, we find a more stable kind of happiness that sticks around for the long haul. 3. Focus on long-term goals. Think of long-term goals like a roadmap for your life. They're the big dreams and aspirations that you're aiming for, whether it's graduating from college, starting your own business, or traveling the world. Instead of getting sidetracked by every shiny thing that comes along, Stoicism encourages us to keep our eyes on the prize. Now, let's talk about how this relates to sex. Yep, we're going there again. See, sex can be like a detour. It's fun in the moment, but it might take you off course from your bigger goals. Stoics remind us to stay focused on what really matters in the long run. It's like saying no to a spontaneous road trip when you've got a big project due. By keeping our eyes on the prize and resisting the temptation to veer off course, we're more likely to reach our destination, whatever that may be. 4. Strengthen emotional relationships. Human connections form the backbone of a satisfying life. It's not just about fleeting moments of physical pleasure, but about building deep emotional bonds that stand the test of time. When we prioritize sex over emotional intimacy, we risk damaging these precious connections. Instead, let's focus on nurturing relationships that go beyond the physical realm. By investing time and effort into meaningful connections, we not only enhance our own lives, but also become more resilient emotionally. These relationships provide a support system during challenging times, offering comfort, understanding, and a sense of belonging. They enrich our lives in ways that superficial encounters cannot, fostering trust, empathy, and lasting happiness. 5. Prevent unwanted consequences. Living virtuously means being mindful of the potential outcomes of our actions. While sex can be a beautiful expression of love and intimacy, it's important to recognize that it comes with risks. Stoicism teaches us to pause and reflect before indulging in any activity, including sex. This 9. Improve self-esteem. Let's talk about feeling good about ourselves. Seeking validation through things like sex might give us a temporary boost, like a sugar rush, but it doesn't provide lasting satisfaction. Stoicism suggests a different approach. True self-esteem comes from knowing ourselves deeply and living in accordance with our values. Think of self-esteem as the solid ground beneath our feet. Instead of seeking approval or validation from others, Stoicism teaches us to look inward and appreciate our own worth. By focusing on developing virtues like wisdom, courage, and kindness, we build a strong foundation for self-esteem that isn't easily shaken by external factors. So, rather than chasing after fleeting compliments or temporary highs, let's invest in the kind of self-worth that stands the test of time. 10. Respect personal values. Living according to our values is like following a roadmap that leads to our true selves. Stoicism, a philosophy that values inner strength and wisdom, reminds us of the importance of staying true to our principles, even when faced with pressure from society. Imagine your values as the guiding stars in the night sky, showing you the way forward. Despite the noise and distractions around us, Stoicism teaches us to stay anchored to these guiding principles. When we act in alignment with our values, we live authentically, like a tree firmly rooted in the ground. Honoring our values isn't always easy, especially when others may try to sway us from our path. But by staying true to ourselves, we earn a profound sense of self-respect. It's like building a strong fortress within ourselves, impervious to external influences. When we uphold our values, we not only respect ourselves, but also earn the respect of others. Just as a lighthouse guides ships safely to shore, our integrity shines brightly, guiding us and those around us to a place of authenticity and honor. 11. Embrace adversity. Adversity, the challenges and setbacks we face in life, can be like storms on the horizon. Stoicism teaches us not to fear these storms, but to see them as opportunities for growth, much like a seedling pushing through the soil to reach the sun. Just as exercise strengthens our muscles, facing adversity strengthens our character. It's like going to the gym for our souls. Instead of seeking quick fixes or distractions, Stoicism encourages us to confront difficulties head-on, like a warrior facing their opponent on the battlefield. When we embrace adversity, we transform challenges into stepping stones toward personal growth. It's like turning obstacles into opportunities. Each setback becomes a lesson, and each trial becomes a chance to forge ourselves into stronger, wiser individuals. By facing adversity with courage and resilience, we not only overcome obstacles, but also discover our inner strength. It's like a phoenix rising from the ashes, emerging from the fire stronger and more resilient than before. 12. Cultivate gratitude. Gratitude, the practice of appreciating the good in our lives, is like sunshine warming our hearts. Stoicism teaches us to cultivate this attitude of thankfulness, recognizing the simple joys and blessings that surround us every day. Instead of constantly chasing after more, Stoicism invites us to pause and appreciate what we already have. It's like stopping to smell the flowers along the way, finding beauty and joy in the present moment. When we cultivate gratitude, we shift our focus from what we lack to what we possess. It's like flipping a switch from scarcity to abundance. By counting our blessings, we find contentment and fulfillment, regardless of our circumstances. Gratitude also helps us reduce the desire for external validation. Instead of seeking happiness in fleeting pleasures like sex or material possessions, we find true fulfillment in the richness of our experiences and relationships. In essence, cultivating gratitude is like watering the seeds of happiness within us. As we nourish this attitude of thankfulness, we find that our hearts overflow with joy and we become beacons of positivity and light in the world. 13. Practice mindfulness. In the world of Stoicism, there's a big emphasis on living in the present moment, instead of always chasing after what we want in the future, like seeking pleasure through sex. Stoics encourage us to practice mindfulness. But what does that mean? Well, it's about paying attention to what's happening right now, right in front of us. It's like stopping to smell the roses, so to speak. By really being present and soaking up each moment, we discover a sense of fulfillment that doesn't rely on things outside of ourselves. Imagine you're eating your favorite meal. Instead of just scarfing it down without really tasting it, because you're already thinking about dessert, try to savor each bite. Notice the flavors, the textures, and how it makes you feel. That's mindfulness in action. By doing this, we start to appreciate the simple joys of life and find happiness in the here and now, rather than always looking ahead for satisfaction. 14. Nurture inner peace. Think of inner peace as the calm in the middle of life's storms. In Stoicism, it's seen as super important, rather than constantly seeking peace from things like sex or external events. Stoics believe in cultivating peace from within. How? Well, it's about finding ways to quiet the mind and soothe the soul. One way they do this is through practices like meditation and self-reflection. Meditation is like hitting the reset button for your brain. It's a chance to sit quietly, focus on your breath, and let go of all the noise and chatter in your head. Self-reflection, on the other hand, is about taking a good look at yourself and your life. What are your values? What really matters to you? By asking these questions and taking time to ponder them, you start to build a strong foundation of inner peace. When you have inner peace, you're like a sturdy ship in rough waters. External events might toss you around a bit, but you remain steady and grounded. Instead of relying on outside things to make you happy, you create your own happiness from within. It's like having a peaceful oasis that you can retreat to whenever life gets hectic. 15. Live in harmony with nature. Stoicism teaches us to live in sync with the natural world around us. Instead of going against the flow or indulging excessively in things like sex, Stoics believe in aligning our actions with the rhythms of nature. But what does that really mean? Well, think about how nature operates. There's a balance, a harmony to it all. Seasons change, animals migrate, and plants grow and die according to their natural cycles. Stoics encourage us to recognize and respect these patterns in our own lives. So, instead of always seeking pleasure or gratification, we should aim to live in a way that's in tune with the world around us. It's about finding fulfillment and purpose in the simple things, rather than constantly chasing after fleeting desires. By living in harmony with nature, we tap into a deeper sense of meaning and contentment that goes beyond momentary pleasures. It's like finding our place in the grand symphony of life and dancing to its rhythm. In essence, Stoicism invites us to transcend transient pleasures and live intentionally, guided by inner virtues. Each conscious choice brings us closer to a fulfilling life, rooted in wisdom and authenticity. Until next time, stay strong, stay stoic, and keep striving for the best version of yourself. If you found this insight valuable, please like, share, and subscribe for more content like this. Until next time, keep growing and stay stoic.